I mean, our first conversation was what, 3 hours or something like that?
It was. And that's when, that happens every so often, right? You meet someone and you just have this crazy, awesome conversation and connection. But there are a lot of similarities that we're going to learn over time between me and you. And I think the way that we lead our families is also very, very similar. So we'll see that as time comes.
Attempting to lead, yes. Yeah. Trying
Exactly.
my darndest.
May I ask what was a highlight of the Bible study today? What's this? Because I wasn't there. I missed it.
Yeah, there was a lot of good highlights. We had a discussion about healings.
Okay.
And, that could be a controversial thing. Like
miraculous healings.
Yeah. Are there healings today? Is there healings for us? Obviously, God heals, right? And obviously, there's miracles every day. A baby being born is a stinking miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, I still can't believe that it's still that hard. Like I have 4 kids, you have 5 kids. I mean, going through that process with your wife, it's still one of the most scariest processes. It's like nothing has changed. My wife says, I feel like I'm dying. You know what I mean? It's like the hardest thing someone that can go through.
It is a wild experience.
It's a miracle.
A lot of times we chase after miracles in different ways, and we want to see more and more, which is good. I think we should always stay hungry for seeing God move, but never losing track of the everyday miracles that we experience. But let's take it back a little bit and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I mean, the generals. I'm a husband, father, Christ follower. We have 4 kids. The majority of my life, I was a cop. That's what I did, like 12 years of that. And then now I'm an entrepreneur, trying to figure it out, dabbling in a whole sorts of things. Home service business, real estate, consulting, podcasting, ministry, all sorts of stuff.
Can you take me through each of those things that you said? Because I think there's probably a lot to unpack on each one, but starting with a cop or a police officer, how did you get into that field and why did you leave?
I loved the job. I did. At the end of it, I was a school resource officer. It was like the cushiest position you could get. I wasn't working midnights. I wasn't working swing shift. I was working 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's like ideal, and I'm in the school. I'm not responding to calls all the time, building relationships with teachers and students. And I was a wrestling coach there too. So it was like, dude, I love coaching. So it was like all of the things I love. But being a cop is a 365, 24/7, like come in early, stay late. Oh yeah, by the way, that you were going to leave, you got to stay late now. Or you got to come in early because someone else, called out. I wanted to be married to my family, not the job. You know what I mean? And that's how I felt.
Yeah. Was that your biggest pain point in that path that you were on?
That was my biggest pain point. Yeah. I felt like I was going to be, oh man, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. Like if you're in a 9-to-5 job in a cubicle, I felt like I was just rotting away in my car. Like I was just sitting in my car, because being a police officer, you get paid for what may happen, not for what happens every day.
Right. Yeah.
Because cops were reacting to a lot of stuff, unless we're, potentially going on fishing expeditions or we stumble upon crimes being committed. But a lot of the times we're waiting for things to happen. So I'm just kind of chilling, waiting. I'm like, is this what my life is going to be? And then I'm working with, no offense to any officers that are listening to this, but I worked with all these officers that had on their calendars right next to their desk when they were going to retire and how much they were making, counting down the days. I'm like, dude, so this is going to be my life? I'm going to count down the days for retirement?
Man, so that's a really common thing in the trades world as well. I think in law enforcement, you have this, how many days left until I retire? I mean, the conversations that you have with a lot of tradesmen, is especially like union trades, that's the big date. That's what we talk about every day. Like, how many more years do you have until you can go out or until your pension kicks in? But it's always blown my mind that people can function that way for 20, 30, 40 years.
Dude,
how do they do it? Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
That's what I kept telling myself.
Yeah.
I mean, 32 years is what you would have to do to get your maximum pension. 32 years.
And what's the minimum? Like 20?
Yeah, 20 years to be vested and to get.
2 decades.
2 decades.
Yeah.
And then people are staying there till they're 32. And then they just retire and then be a cop somewhere else, which is fine, but there's no real room for growth. I'll give you an example. I get trained in all of these specialties, right? Defensive tactics instructor, taser instructor, active shooter instructor. I didn't get paid more for these new tasks and skills that I gained. I just had to work more. I had to come in early more. I had to stay late longer or do more overtime because I had all these skills now. So it's not like that shift was huge for me when I went into entrepreneurship. It's like, if I have more skills, I can get paid for my skills. I could potentially get paid more for my skills versus I have to work more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're an entrepreneur. That's how your brain is wired. You get caught up and stuck when you don't see the output matching the input. You don't see the value add, because you're like, okay, if I'm stacking skills and I'm learning new things that are valuable, I don't see the benefit of that in my own personal life, in my career, I should say. But that doesn't sit well with you, and that wouldn't sit well with many other people. You're either going to think like that, or you're going to think about punching a clock, which is your calendar. Like if you had a calendar that said 15,000 more days, I don't know, maybe that was a stupid number, but until I retire,
yeah,
you're punching a clock, and every day is just a day. It's just a box to cross off your calendar.
yes.
So how could you think that you're building skills that should be bringing value to everyone? You're not thinking that. You're like, let's just get the day over with.
I did not think of that. Looking back at it, I think of it that way now, but doing it at the time, I literally thought money equaled time, like time equaled money.
Yeah.
Like they were one for one. They're not. Time is way more valuable than money. You can always make more money, and sometimes maybe not make much money, but
Yeah.
you can never get more time. It's gone. Gone. You're never gonna get it back. So I'm gonna spend all my time trying to hustle and work for making more money, but then I'm losing all this time. The Bible says, redeem the time for the days are evil. I want the time back so I can use it to pour into my family, pour into others. I mean, not just be... Have you ever seen the movie Count of Monte Cristo?
I have not. And I love movies.
Dude, you need to see this movie. There's a scene where he's in prison, right? And what do people do in prison? There's always like...
Push-ups.
Push-ups, yeah. But usually like marking down the days, right? Like scratching on the stone, X, how many days you're there. And I just envision this dude, like beard and all, and him just crossing off the days. You're like in a modern day prison. I'm not saying that cops are prisoners, or if you're on a 9 to 5, you're a prisoner. It's just the fact that you're almost stuck and you can't get out unless there's some paradigm shift that happens in your mind that realizes, hold on, I don't have to be there. I could go somewhere else. And my days don't have to be mundane and the same old, same old.
And I think as an entrepreneur, or even as a deep thinker, you start to realize that the time and the value and the money and how this all works and the formula. And then you start to kind of question a lot of things, which is what you were doing in your role as a police officer. But trying to dig deeper into that, for me, it was freedom. And I think, because you're hitting on freedom too.
Yes.
Time freedom.
Yes.
Right. For me, it was more like existential freedom. I don't even know how to describe it now that I'm thinking back, because I had a similar situation where I could remember the smell of it. Like I walked into my office. I was working for a company. We were doing advertising and consulting and technology consulting. And I went into the elevator. I went in the back, little shortcut to my office I was doing for a very long time. And I just remember opening the door and smelling it. And I'm like, it smelled like I was in jail. Oh, my word. But it smelled like coffee. It probably smelled good. So you might look at me and be like, what a baby, like what a salt, like that's not jail. If you were really in jail, you'd be doing your push-ups and that would suck.
Yeah, you would be worried about getting out and leaving, and yeah.
But it was a form of jail for me. I opened the door, and it opening that door was like the prison door shutting.
We're realizing you can't leave. You don't have autonomy. You can't do what you want. I'm not saying we all have to do whatever we want. I'm just saying you couldn't even.
Totally.
You probably didn't even have freedom to think differently or try things differently. You had to.
No.
It
was a lot of corporate stuff
the mandate
going on there. Yeah, and I just relate to that so much. I wanted my time back, but I just wanted freedom.
Oh my word, yes.
And
freedom.
The prison analogy is so wild, because you either get it or you don't, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Like I know a lot of people, and sometimes I even wish that I was this person that didn't think like this, and I could just sit in my jail cell really happy and eat my slop,
Yes.
Like,
yes.
When's the next meal? And then just kind of do my push-ups, go to bed, tattoo my face. I love tattoos.
Yes. Just
like,
get my hair cut with the razor blade.
It.
Yep.
Yeah, like let's accept it.
Ask the CO for peanut butter, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. But I was gonna say though, Shot Caller. Speaking of movies, you ever see that movie?
No.
Shot caller is the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because it's an interesting analogy, like take on this prison analogy. If I remember correctly, white collar guy goes to jail. Looks like a guy that you would never see in jail. He would last like 5 minutes before he's just like chewed up or killed or something. Just wouldn't last. Winds up becoming a gang leader in jail and embraces this lifestyle of like, I'm in this prison, I'm going to make the best of it.
Wow.
So now you have like the people that do that as well. And that's one paradigm. The paradigm that me and you were talking about is like the prison break paradigm.
Yeah.
Where we're like, we could do that. We could conform and we could make the best of it.
Yes.
We could climb the ladder and we can put on like, whatever clothes everyone else is wearing, speak the way that they speak.
Take all the tests and
Yes. And be like, I've done it all, boss. Like, I'm going to make it, here. But we said, you know what, we're going to break out of this jail. I broke out of it in my life and you broke out of it in your life, but I have no idea how you did that. How did you go from being a police officer and to being an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
And let me ask you this way, though, because this is what I really want to know. When did you first know that you had the guts to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, man, I don't know. I guess I'll just take you back. I'll take you back to when I realized I didn't want to be a cop anymore. It was a day just like any other day. I worked midnights, and before I was an SRO, school resource officer. So nothing's really happening on midnights, man. And I worked in Massachusetts. It was snowing, and that was the day, like not one single call happened all night. So for 8 hours.
And you're by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
By myself in my car for 8 hours. Like, is this what I'm going to do with the rest of my life? And then I'm thinking in my mind about those people that I work with, and I'm like, is this it? Like, is this seriously it? And I'm not crying, but crying out to God, like, Lord, is this what you have for me? Like, if this is what you have for me, then take away the feeling that I have. Like, just let me be content. Help me to be content with my circumstances and pursue this calling of law enforcement, right? Because
great prayer.
Yeah, God needs, we all need good cops, right? We all need good, marketers, and we all need good people that work these 9 to 5s. So I'm like, Lord, if this is what you want me to be, want me to do, just take this burden away from me. And you know what he did? He doubled and tripled down on it. Really? It was kind of like, when you have a bruise and someone pushes it?
Yes.
That's what happens. It felt like. Like he's going like this to me. Yeah, where he's like, okay, you asked this prayer, but I'm going to reveal it to you with like never-ending annoyance and pain of how pain. Like this is not what I have for you. I have something else for you. Yes, exactly.
Keep going. Yeah.
But in the time I was like, I'm in such a sweet spot. I get out of midnights, I get all these trainings that I want to do, I get all these specialties that I want to do. I become the SRO, but he won't let me go. Like it's kind of like poking and poking and poking. Like there's something more for me. I didn't know what it was. All I know is I was a cop. I was in the military, I was a cop. I was a correctional officer. I was a juvenile detention guy. Then I was a cop. And so that's literally all I knew.
And by the way, that's where you spent most of your adult life. Professionally. In all of that arena. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the military just kind of bled right into that because I was a cop there. That was just like the next thing to do. But he didn't let me go. Like he wouldn't stop pushing and poking and prodding with these thoughts and ideas. And I talked to my wife about it, and she said, we should just pray about it. Let's pray that God, makes a way for us out of law enforcement. So we prayed for years and nothing was really happening. Then there was this opportunity that my father-in-law presented to me, investing in real estate. He was a real estate investor, still is, buying, flipping homes, rentals. He has 9 kids. They homeschooled.
9 kids.
9 kids, homeschooled. I'm
gonna make that note in my. And 5 is not a lot. 9. 9 is.
Well, he said to me, Gabe, if you're gonna obey the Lord, you need to actually multiply. I'm like, okay. He goes, that means you have a minimum of 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So I expect you to have 4 kids.
How many did you have at the time?
I had
like during that.
At that time, yeah, I had 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had 1. Just my oldest daughter. But I love how bold he is and how.
That's pretty bold.
I loved it. Honestly, I love him. He's like my father figure.
You're not a Christian until your quiver's full?
No. He wasn't that bold.
I'm just kidding.
He was really just
I like
pushing.
That, though.
Yeah, just because modern day, another sidetrack. Modern day, everyone's like, kids are a burden. Kids are too expensive. Kids are this. Kids are that.
Yeah.
But literally the greatest blessing I could ever have, pushing me to excel for more, pushing me to strive to do better.
God is so amazing. That goes without saying. He's always after so many other things than what you think that he's after. So like you have these times where you're like praying about one specific thing, like, God, if this path is not the right path, show me, or like let me just be okay with staying in it, or whatever you want, God, show me. But he's also doing like a million other things behind the scenes. And what I find that he's doing a lot is just really making me less self-centered.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned having kids and your father-in-law presenting this real estate opportunity to you, which is also him inadvertently telling you too to have more kids, which is making you exponentially less self-centered.
Yes.
Every kid that you have.
Yes.
And it's countercultural, like you said. Like we view children as a nuisance in so many ways. I mean, what do you hear the most when someone asks you like about how many kids you have? You have 4 kids, so you tell people that, they're like, man, that must be expensive.
Yes.
Like it's a problem.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And when people say that to me, you have 5 kids, how do you afford that? Right? I'm like, well, A, it drives me and it motivates me. But B, I don't see them as a problem, right? Because I see them as a sanctification tool.
Amen.
And as belonging to the Lord.
Yeah.
So I love how the thing behind the thing is what God's always after. And there's like 10 things. So now you're learning about real estate, your father-in-law, you're learning about what it means to have a lot of kids. How do you get it? Like you get into real estate, I'm assuming. Is that
Well,
right or no?
that was kind of what happened. He helped me fix up my house. We sold it. I resigned from my position as an officer, and I took the plunge.
And sold your house at the same time.
It happened fast. It was all in a matter of like 3 months.
That's a pretty short window. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fast when we made the decision. We had peace about it. I mean, not perfect peace. I mean, there were so many unknowns that we were literally going to travel not across the United States, all the way from Mass to Florida, bring our whole life.
It's across a portion of the United States.
Yes, exactly. The whole East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big...
It was a lot. It was crazy. Yeah. I mean, so moving down there, we bought 4 duplexes and we lived in one. It was 1,000 square feet, and we lived there with our 3 kids. That was before I had my 4th. And it gave me more perspective.
What perspective?
It gave me more perspective because it gave me some freedom. Like I sold my house, invested in real estate, and had a little cash in my pocket to give me some options. But my thought right away was, I'm going to go down there, be a cop, buy a house.
Really?
Yes. There was no entrepreneurial spirit. It was more of like...
That's very interesting to me. So you went to travel, get involved in real estate, but to go back into law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right?
I still didn't make that shift yet. That shift with employee versus owner, as you know, in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like that shift did not happen for me.
Was it that you were sitting there one day and you're like, wait a second, I'm not a slave. Money is coming in and I'm not doing anything. Like, was that what it was? Or you were...
No, I wish. I mean, there was no money coming. It just bought me some time.
Okay. So you bought time without punching a clock, though.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And that was a miniature paradigm shift, but it was pretty large for me when I had freedom, like time freedom, which is what ultimately I want. But
that's what you were after.
Yes, it gave me time freedom, and it made me realize that I don't want to go back. But I kind of held it in,
a little taste.
So I went through the process, became a certified Florida officer, and then I got hired by the local sheriff's department, did all of their things, you know, the polygraph test, the physical, everything. So I passed it all, and I was going to get hired. I got hired, and then I had an in process. The day comes to in process, and I don't go.
Why not?
And they call me.
Butterflies in the tummy, or...
No, because I'm yearning for more. There's something else. I know there's something else.
Threw in the towel.
Yeah.
With this.
Well, there's a couple at church that I was going to offered me to be a mortgage loan officer. They're like, hey, you could have more time, you could make some more money. And I'm like, time and money? Yes, okay.
So God's really speaking to you, right?
Yes.
At this phase of your
life.
There's
a lot of trial, a lot of just...
But you're open, which is what I like. And a lot of times it's hard to be open, but you have an adventurous spirit, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of similar, and so do I. So it's not that hard for me to follow him, but you have to still be open. When
I was an officer and right when we moved to Florida, I was very much like, I need to control everything.
Okay.
I was risk adverse. Like I was
which makes sense, I guess, for
Yeah.
that phase of your life.
Yeah, I was
taking many big risks.
no, me and my wife are risk adverse. Like, we're not wanting to take risks. So it was a huge risk to go to Florida, huge risk to sell your home, invest in real estate, huge risk to go into mortgage loans instead of being an officer. So I said yes. The sheriff's department calls me and said, "Hey, are you coming? Like, you're supposed to be here." I'm not coming. Thank you for the
I would love
opportunity.
to hear that conversation. It's like, no, I'm a loan
It
officer.
was crazy. Well, thinking about it too, because my identity was I'm a cop. Like,
Yes.
when I meet people, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Gabe." Like, "Hi, I'm Steve."
We're
I'm
gonna
like,
go
"Well, what
back
do you
to
do?"
identity. We're
You know
gonna
what
go
I
back
mean?
to identity. That's a big one.
Yeah. So I dived into mortgage loans, got certified. Things didn't work out. They didn't want to pay me what I thought I should have gotten paid, which is more than $12 an hour, I think.
Yeah.
So anyways, the market tanked at that time. It was 2022. Interest rates were going high. Nobody was refining anymore.
You got in at 2022, or that's okay.
So COVID's done.
Let's do a little context for 1
Yeah,
second.
go ahead.
I mean, you had 0% interest rates.
Yes.
Not totally different than the 2007 market, but at the same time, like a free for all, like the 2007
Yeah.
market.
Everybody was refining. Everybody was
Everyone
buying.
refied.
Everybody.
And you got in, you stepped in, and it's like,
Right when it was done. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I applied to like 50, 60 different mortgage loan companies, banks, everything, and no one was saying anything. So I'm like, so I'm going to be a cop again? Like, no.
you call the
No, Lord,
sheriff, or the
please.
sergeant. I forgot who you said. Did you call him back and be like, JK, I'm not an officer. I'll be there at 9:00.
No, I didn't. I still had faith. I had faith something's going to work out.
And there was too much time anyway. I guess that passed for that opportunity to be live for you still. So what happens next?
What happens next is me and my family go to New Hampshire every summer, and it was right, summer was happening. So we went to New Hampshire and we're like, we'll figure it out. So I ended up working for this Christian-owned window washing company. I was like, okay, I'll do it. I need some
How did
money.
you find that opportunity?
My brother-in-law worked for them every summer. So he had his own pressure washer, window washing company in Florida. And then in the summer, he'd go to New Hampshire and work for him. So it was like he had the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So he's like, Gabe, come try. I'm like, all right. I love New Hampshire. I got nothing to lose. I got no job right now. So let's do it.
Yeah, and you're at 3 kids at this
Three
point.
kids, yeah. No fourth kid yet. So I'm working for him, $15 an hour, getting told what to do by 17, 18-year-old kids. It was a very humbling experience. So long story short, I just kept working for these Christian entrepreneurs that were paying me peanuts. But I learned a lot. It made me realize things. Things were clicking. And so went back to Florida, worked for him and his pressure washing company because I got some skills now. And I'm listening to Rich Dad, Poor Dad as I'm pressure washing a roof.
Yeah.
And that was another paradigm shift, the employee versus owner mindset. It made me realize, like, I could easily just do one of these, like start one of these, and then I could be hiring people instead of me being in the business. And what sort of business could I start? So I started 3 businesses at once. Yeah.
Well, we did talk about that.
Right after that.
You like to really dive in
Yeah.
to things. So you didn't start a business. And your entrance point into being an entrepreneur was not a business. You didn't start a business. You started 3 businesses.
Yes.
With the advent of AI, a lot of people are bypassing all of this, the life experience, the hashing it out, the hitting your head against the wall. Like, for you to realize that you wanted to start a business or 3 businesses at the same time, you had to go through years of things, right?
Yes.
And you weren't able to fast track that. You weren't able to cut any corners. You had to go through each step of that process.
Yes.
Now, when you have things like Claude or ChatGPT or whatever it is, the whole premise of that is like, well, why would you need to do that if I can just kind of skip ahead of that for you and tell you what you need to know right here, right now? Guess what? It never works. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like it's never going to work. And I've been guilty of this in my own life too, where it's like, I'm on a path in my life and God's showing me a whole bunch of different things. I'll take that as a prompt and be like, skip the hard part, get me to the to the rest. So,
well, it's just by nature, us as human beings, we want that.
What's wrong with us?
Well,
Right?
we don't want the pain.
We don't. I mean,
We want to
so, yeah,
avoid the pain.
Can't blame that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I can't be too hard on myself.
I
I don't
wanna
want to
avoid the
suffer.
pain.
Okay.
We don't, but it also, there's a thing in business that you paid for coaching. It's like, if I can pay for somebody's knowledge and
Yes.
get their knowledge, my lead time to get to where I want to be is quicker. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? So it's like you use
Which is
ChatGPT,
super
Claude, and
valuable.
yeah, well, you could use that, but you're right. You still can't avoid the pain. You're still gonna have
Can't
to do all
avoid
this
pain.
work,
Yeah,
regardless.
and it's also perspective, right? Because you don't want to look at it as suffering,
Yeah.
because pain, the next thing you're going to think about is like suffering. And then you go down that like really dark path of like, this is miserable. And then you start to like, just have issues. But the pain that you go through as an entrepreneur, or even just as a human being learning anything, is the fire of God's sanctifying love, which is something you never want to cut out. And that's an evil thing to want to say that, like, it's the whole get behind me, Satan, like Jesus talking to Peter, like, don't go to the cross. You don't need to do that. There's another way. Avoid the suffering, avoid the pain. There is so much to unpack on that. But back to the whole point of why I
Right.
mention it is I think these conversations encapsulated in time are so valuable for that reason, because we get to talk about our lives and about the experiences that we have. And then other people can see, because in 10 years from now, like maybe there's robots having these conversations, right?
Oh man.
But like we need to get this on record.
Yes.
Like this is real.
Yes.
This happened. This is
This
your
isn't
real life.
AI. Yeah, this is real
Yeah,
life.
like
yeah.
and that's where the value is. But I have high hopes for humanity.
I think so too. The vulnerability
I have
and the
high-
human spirit of rebellion
Yeah. We're
in,
not
a,
just
in, a,
gonna-
in a good way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That could be in a bad way, but we're not going to just roll over.
You're starting 3 businesses at once.
Yeah.
That's a kind of northern or crazy thing to do, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't really know why. Mainly because 2 of them are what I really wanted to do, my passions, and then the other one was just at a last ditch effort. I need to provide for my family kind of thing. So the 2 is men's coaching men. Not saying I have all the answers.
Is this in order of the actual launching of them? So you
Yeah.
started men's coaching first.
Yes.
Okay.
And then security consulting for churches specifically then, but I've kind of switched gears now. And then handyman business in Florida. There's always hurricanes. So there was always business. So that's what I ended up doing for the most part, because I couldn't gain traction on social media. I mean, social media, like we were talking about earlier, it's an evil place. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's taken control of me and taken my time and has brought me to places I don't want to go. And social media can be used for good, but we have to redeem it. Us as believers, us as men of faith, we have to take it back. So that's my reason why I'm back on social media, because when I was a cop, I was off it for a long time. I was off.
Yeah, there's no pressure for you to have to be on it.
No,
Life-
but it was
you didn't
also
like
just to do this or whatever. I
Yes.
mean, that's the problem. It's the dopamine. Yeah, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think talking about social media is when you're starting a business. So you started 3-in-1.
Yes.
Coaching, security consulting for churches, and handyman.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, but let's just take the first 2. Those kind of are more on the social media heavy side.
Yeah.
So is handyman. I think everything is social media.
Well, now it is for sure the handyman, like the home service thing. But in the beginning, it was like I could literally just go door knocking and I could get work. And that was the reason why that was another paradigm shift that was made for my life, is when somebody said yes. It literally changed my life and made me realize I'm never going to go back.
And are you talking about your first yes?
Yes.
Specifically?
My first yes for the
Yes,
handyman business.
the first yes.
Yes.
For handyman.
Yes.
I will never in my life forget my first yes.
Yeah.
It's bubbling up like a well of joy in me. And I feel like you get that too.
I do, because it's wild. There's a shift that happens. There's something that happened. Did you realize when you got that first yes, like, dude, I'm never going to go back. Like, there's no way.
I had no idea.
Oh,
I had no idea. And I'll tell you why quickly, is because I was working another job when I started my first business. So I was still employed and started my business. I was literally sleeping 2 hours a night. I did the whole like
staying up late, waking up early.
Yeah, to the extreme, and it had severe health consequences for me. But I didn't see what was going to happen with that. I did, but I at the same time I did feel this indescribable feeling. Indescribable. It was like the most proud moment of my entire life. It almost felt like this is why I was born in a weird way. Like And so that happened for me after I held my son, my firstborn son, and all
Oh,
my other
wow.
kids. But like that's a moment that's like here, right? This is like pretty close to that in a weird way. Like this kind of self
Just the joy it brings you. And yeah, that's a
joy.
great point.
Yeah.
Self-actualization.
Yeah, it's
Because
like,
you created something out of nothing.
exactly.
That's
it
it
didn't
went from
exist.
here to here, then to here, and then it actually happened.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You ever read Think and Grow Rich?
Yes.
Okay, I read that book. And I read that book a long time ago. And I remember thinking, this is sticking with me. This is like impressing itself on my soul for some reason. I don't know why. When I had my first yes, I actually saw the images of that book of like the light bulb and then the cloud of smoke. And it's like magic. Nothing existed. Now it exists. And it was also spiritual for me. It made me feel like I was actively partaking in creation, like as a child of God. And at that point in my life too, with my painting business, I wanted my faith to be like a really important part of that business. Not that, I knew exactly what that meant at that moment, but I felt like there was all this stuff going on. Tell me about your first yes, though, Gabe.
Oh, my first
I know it was
yes.
electric.
Yeah, it was electric. It was electric for me because it changed my life, the trajectory of my life. Yeah. So I'm just walking around, not door knocking on people that had soffit damage. Soffits.
Okay.
Hurricane came, blows all over the place, and it blew out a bunch of soffits. I knock his door. I'm like, hey, can I give you a quote for soffits? I see you have soffit damage. I'm a handyman. I can get it done. He goes, yeah, okay. And so I walk around. I give him an estimate. And that's a whole nother topic of quoting and estimating. It's extremely arbitrary, or price perception, value perception. It's arbitrary. It's like, how do you determine what is valuable and what would be valuable to him? It's just this whole dance. So I called 3 people and I got 3 different ideas of what I should quote it. And I just took the middle. It was $800. And he said yes.
And he said yes.
And
Was
that would
on the
take-
spot or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would take me almost a week to make as a policeman. So it took me a day and a half. I took back almost 4 days of my life.
So that yes was electric in many ways, but it
Yes.
was also enlightening to you because you saw in that yes, in that 1 second or however long it took him to say that word, you extended your life in some weird mystical way.
It's insane.
You compounded your time on this earth.
Yeah.
Which is
And I
wild.
didn't really grasp it. I just was so excited that I could make that much money
Yeah.
in like a day. But looking back at it now and looking back at it years afterward, just realizing, dude, value. If I could provide somebody value, they probably will pay me for said value.
I like how you
probably
said that.
way more.
They probably.
Yeah, probably. Leaving room for maybe
Well, let's
not.
talk about home services and not getting paid for jobs. Just
Yes.
kidding. But
Oh, my word.
They're in theory, right?
Yep.
They will pay you that value.
Yeah.
Which is deep, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that helped me with my other 2 businesses to help me continue to push towards it to potentially get some clients. I'm like, if I can get somebody that needs soffit damage fixed, if I can get them to say yes, what if a man that's struggling with his fitness or his family or his faith, if I could get him to say yes, I feel like I could give him so much more value. And I'm like, wow, what should I charge this person? And that was a whole nother wrestling match too. And then the consulting with churches, I'm like, I could provide so much value to them. What should I charge them? Will they even want it? And so those 2 things were the value perceptions with those 2 marketplaces, the churches and men, and like, do they even want it? It's not like they have the direct pain like the soffit guy. It's like, critters can go in his attic and chew up his drywall, or wasp, or, he has pain right now. Like, yeah, please fix this thing. So it was hard to get in front of people with those other 2 businesses. So I had to really shift my focus on providing and getting more work that way.
Yeah. So you have 3 businesses. You started them sort of at the same time.
Yeah.
And the one that's, I guess, like the rocket that's kind of going up higher and faster is the one that you're going to focus on. But it is not something to be overlooked how hard and how competent you have to be. So, for example, let's just talk home services. So handyman, general category is construction, but it's residential and there's different tasks and services you're providing for homeowners. in the home services field, game, whatever, it's just such a unique and specific skill set. It's hard to quantify. It would take hours to unpack what that what that is and what that means. But anyone that's done like a HVAC business or painting, plumbing, anything on the residential side will knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Once you get outside of that bubble or that world and go into marketing, advertising, coaching, anything that's more like personal brand oriented, it is so hard to make those transitions to kind of step in from that world into the other world. How did you find, like, did you see that there were a lot of overlaps for you in home services into the, I don't want to call it personal brand, but coaching, which is more of a personal brand, and the security consulting? Like, did you think that, okay, I've had like the rocket was blasting up higher and faster in home services. Did you find that you were able to cross over some of that success and skill into the other ones, or you just let the other ones kind of sit there for a little while?
Well, I think they were all helping me, building me into a better entrepreneur and helping me define problems and fix them quickly, that kind of thing. So the handyman business helped me for sure with communicating with people. But as a cop, I mean, that's literally all I did was talk to people. Like 90% of my job was just talking to people. And there was usually in like their worst moments, a domestic violence thing or a medical emergency so a lot of people just want to talk. That's all they wanted to do. So you're like a counselor, you're like a coach, you're a therapist, you're all those people on the street with people. And it reminded me very much of that, going into people's homes, like seeing pictures on the walls, seeing books. And it was like I'm back in people's homes again.
Yeah.
And I had opportunities to pray for people, to hear people's stories, which I loved. I love people. So all of those businesses I mentioned really is just people focused. I like relationships. So, I mean, they all helped in how I communicate. But in regards to really the nitty gritty of each business, they were all so different. I was just getting lost, like trying to post on social media, trying to make reels, trying to have good copy and cold calling. And I was just so much better face to face. I could knock the door and be like, hey, there's a problem right here. I could totally fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could do it.
I've met and talked to people who have started businesses with large teams on day one. But I've talked to a lot of people who have started a business really on their own and then scaled it to become what it is.
Oh man.
When you started those three businesses, it reminds me of the projects and businesses and things that I've done in the past. Like, I normally do it on my own. There may be one or two people to help me, and then I'll slowly build a team from there. So when you have three businesses like you starting at once, you like just having 3 social media accounts with one social media thing is hard enough. So you have like 30 really, I guess, at that point. But like, it's so hard to manage. I mean, I remember I had 2 or 3 things going on. I'm like, I didn't even know at one point what social media account I was posting on from my business. And that gets easier as you grow and as you scale because you have people managing certain things differently for you. But the main reason why I mentioned that, back to the social media thread, is I had this mind-blowing experience one day where I started door knocking. Okay, so I did door knock early on with Teal Painting, with my drywall painting business. I did it after. Why? Because I was influenced by a reel where I saw someone door knocking and talking about their canvassing team. And I'm like, man, I can do that, right? And so social media was the thing that made me go back into real life and actually knock on people's doors and talk to them. Why did I need a reel to tell me that real life still exists? It is so hard to maintain a grasp on what's actually true and real in life when you're bombarded by social media. So are you feeling that same tension at this present moment or not? Like, how do you see that? Because social media is a beast. It really is.
I definitely get overwhelmed with the comparison game for sure, or making me feel like I'm not where I want to be, and it's more kind of in my face, if that makes sense. Like,
It does.
more things and more areas where I want to achieve and get better or grow. I just I see people where they are, and I'm like, dude, why aren't I there? It's like I'm playing these comparison games, way quicker and faster versus like if I'm walking down the street or if I meet somebody and they tell me about what they do. I can just see it in my hand and I can have access to it all the time. So the world and Satan and the flesh right in those moments are attacking me. It's like if I'm not prayed up, you know, I got the armor on, if I'm not ready to withstand this, it's going to be hard. It's going to be in my mind. It's going to be, so I mean, that side of social media, the real stuff where it's not pointing me to real things. It's actually making me do the opposite. It's like making me go more internal and think that I'd suck. But in reality,
which is a big problem.
Which is a big problem. Exactly. So we got to redeem it. Yeah. So I just flood my algorithm with all awesome, motivating stuff. And I changed my perspective because just because I'm not where I want to be doesn't mean I'm not going to get there.
Yeah.
I just need to be patient and endure and continue to move forward. So those reels haven't hit me like that. But they've hit me in many other ways.
Social media is not going away.
No.
If anything, it was the advent of the metaverse, in a sense, like being able to create a virtual reality or another world that exists outside of your physical reality. Like that was the advent of social media, like taking pictures of your food and creating a whole nother world. Like,
yes.
You could be at McDonald's, right? And you take a picture of the hamburger, but like frame it the right way with the right emojis and sound. It's like
put the right filter on. Remember when filters were such a big deal?
We're in another world right now.
We are. Well, their goal was to make community that you want to be in and never leave.
Yes.
And then make you have all this dopamine hit because people are liking and commenting, and, you know, doing all of these things. I mean, because we need community, us as people. That's how God made us. We're relational. So I mean, that instant relationships with people, like you can see somebody enough that you're like, dude, I love this dude. Like I'm gonna just keep watching him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep soaking up his content. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's crazy how we feel that way about people that we'll never meet.
Yeah,
we really could know from a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
like it's. And I think that's how Satan works too, right? And this is not an original thought by any means, but he'll take some element of truth, like humans need community.
Yeah,
we need love. We need to know that we're important and that we matter, all this stuff. And it'll totally twist it and make it the most self-centered, addictive, hurtful, traumatic thing for you in your life. And be like, see, we did it. We accomplished all the goals that we got, all the things you need. You feel loved.
All in one-stop shop.
It's
Come on in. Yeah.
It's insane. Well, we all need to have, I think, a plan for anyone that's living an intentional life as a father, business owner, family man, whatever. We need to figure out, how do we guide ourselves and our family into responsible use of social media?
Well, I just completely changed and shifted my outlook on social media. It's not for me to like see my old friends or hang out. It's only business.
Okay.
So social media is just business. So it's an avenue for business. So if I'm on Facebook scrolling, I'm looking for Facebook groups or, you know, people to communicate with real estate deals or handyman stuff or coaching, consulting, anything like that. Anything I post has to do with coaching or consulting or something like that, because I needed to change my perspective of social media. It's not a place to hang out. I'm thinking of it as this is business. I'm going on here to do business. So I need to focus on that. And if I keep my head in that lane, I'm not going to go here, there, or other places.
Yeah. And usually,
you know what I mean?
What happens to most people is all those different places are just, it's a prison,
dude.
Right? Back to the prison, because what are you giving up for that? You're giving up your time.
Yep.
The thing that bothered you the most about being a police officer was that I'm in this prison and I'm just wasting my time. That's like Mark Zuckerberg or all the people behind social media.
Yeah.
They want you in that prison.
Yes.
They want your time.
Yes. Right? And they reward you for being there longer.
Yes.
So it's also when you're alone.
Yes.
And no one knows.
For sure.
You're in the dark. I mean, maybe you could be during the day, but you're in the dark. No one else is there. It's just you and your ecosystem that you've created.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to go above and beyond to just avoid and like things that I want to keep seeing.
Yes.
That's a huge way to train your algorithm right there. Like the stuff you like.
And you're a man on mission.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how you have to see every area of your life. And it doesn't have to be social media. It could be anything. There are these little areas that people think they could let slide because, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Or hey, nobody will know, or like this is my downtime, or this isn't important. It's not true. When you're in the arena of the world that we're in with being an entrepreneur or just really trying to be the best man that you can be, there is no air, like there's no leeway.
No.
It's every single area of your life as a man that has to be on point.
Yep.
And it could be daunting, it could be scary, but there's no way around it. You have to swallow that pill and you have to accept it for sure. I didn't want to assume here because we're talking about men now, but let me just ask you so that I'm not rude. Do you identify as a man, right?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah. Dude, you know people call themselves like mud? Like I am mud.
No, I did
Or
not. Know
I
that.
am.
I knew about the animal thing.
Yeah,
like
animals.
We went from spirit animal to like
You could be just like an inanimate object. Yeah, you could just
is
be
that
mud.
like an official title?
Yeah, you could be anything you want. Yeah. That's the point.
I gotta think about
That's the
that.
problem.
But see, like, okay,
With relativism and postmodernism where anything could be anything.
and then we scratch our heads and we're like, how did we get here, mud? And it's like, I could tell you how we got here.
Yeah.
You know, like you made this mess. Gabe is a he, him,
Yes, and his
and a he, him, his lamp.
lamp.
The fact that we could joke and laugh about some of this stuff is, I think, really important because it's tense. And it's a little bit less tense, but it was really tense in our culture.
It was.
This conversation about like race.
It's ma'am.
Yeah.
It's ma'am. You seen that clip?
I have seen that. No, really, like that's tense.
Yeah, that's like it comes to
cultural
fighting. Yeah, like we're gonna fight because you misgendered me.
That's
You know what I mean?
cultural
It's
tension
insane.
as crazy as you can get it.
Yeah.
And then you have race wars and you have
You know why that happened?
this.
It's because of men. They failed. Men.
tell me about that.
Nations rise and fall on men. Homes rise and fall on men. Cities, countries, cultures, communities, churches, schools, it doesn't matter. Everything has to do with us.
So wherever there are these big cultural tensions going on, it's because men have failed.
Yeah.
Why? Like what was the failure and why was it on them?
Well, I mean, I think it's been happening since, Bible times. It's just a continuation of male failure over the years. I mean, what happened with Adam, right? He's the leader. His wife gave him the apple. He could have said, do you think Adam was there watching her? Or was Adam like digging in the garden? I think he was there.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think Adam was there as well.
Yeah.
And I think
And he
that-
let
yes.
it happen. So failed leadership. Abraham, he could have told the Pharaoh that Sarah was his wife. He didn't. He lied. Both times he went to Egypt because he was scared. He was scared. He was scared that they're going to take his wives. But in turn, it made things worse for him. Jacob, I mean, he had multiple wives. I mean, how could you not know that that's your wife that you end up sleeping with and then you still want to have another one? God does not design multiple women for men. He designed it, a marriage with man and women, not for multiple partners. I mean, it's for men and women to be together, to promulgate, to have kids, to live and subdue the world like we're supposed to be doing, but it's under male headship. So it's under male guidance and love and provision and sacrifice and service. What are men supposed to be doing? We're supposed to stand in the gap for evil. We're supposed to be standing on the front lines to protect our family and our friends. Who goes to war? Men. Who builds cities? Men. Who does the hard jobs? Men. I'm not trying to make this a man fest and men do everything good. I'm saying, but God called us for different tasks and different responsibilities, males and females. The Bible says pretty specifically that males, husbands, love your wives just like Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it. I mean, you essentially have to die for your family and for your wife.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, and we're responsible for it all. And the head of every woman is her husband, and every head of every man is the Lord. So that is the hierarchy, and we want to shy away from it, right? We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to say men lead, women follow. We don't want to say that.
We don't want to say that. And not only that, we want to deny it.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. To me, and this is what I think our society is grappling with right now. It's like denying gravity.
Yes.
You can't.
No, you can't.
You can't. You can lie all about it, but once you get someone to jump off the building, they're going to die. And that's what we've been doing, and that's what we've been seeing.
Yeah, essentially, especially when you keep promoting and promulgating people jumping off, like, this is a great idea for you guys. You will have lots of riches and glory if you jump off this. But in reality, it's the worst thing. You know, separating the nuclear home and feminism movement and pretty much incentivizing women to have multiple kids and not have a husband is ruining, you know, countries, societies.
Yeah.
You don't find that in a lot of other countries.
You don't.
You find that in a lot of Western cultures where, you know, we've gotten so high and mighty and so much money and we've gotten so many skills. And what's that saying where, you know, good times create,
Yes.
what is that?
Hard times create strong men.
Yeah, and strong men create good times, and then good times create weak men, whatever. But that's what we're in. You know what I mean? We just keep creating weaker men.
You're always in somewhere on that timeline.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a bad spot of the timeline right now. Or maybe a good spot, because it's all kind of like cyclical, because you just mentioned before, that cycle repeats over and over and over again throughout history. And I would say, so this is where it's really important to talk about men.
Yeah.
Because I think that man's greatest battle in life, greatest struggle, is with fear. And I think that's man's, is that 2 Timothy
1:7?
1:7.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear. Yes. But power, love, and a sound mind. Yes, sir.
That is very timely for what I am saying, but also very timely for life.
Yeah.
So here's where it's crazy. The first sin was Adam not failing to take responsibility for what he was entrusted with. Eve, who came from him.
Yes.
He was afraid because the snake was not like a garter snake. It was a dragon. Yeah. That's my opinion. And I think he was afraid. And there were tools at his disposal, mostly faith, that could have defeated the dragon. But he succumbed and he sinned, and his sin was fear. And that sin replays itself over and over. Like God reestablishing Adam through Israel, reestablishing Adam really through all the patriarchs and through all of the archetypes of Christ that you see in the Bible, and all of them fall to fear, in my opinion. And some of it looks like lust, some of it looks like greed or whatever, but it's all fear.
Yeah.
And then when you read the Bible, I think the command to not be afraid, you might have heard this, is given to us or spoken in the Bible 365 times. Have you heard that before?
No.
It's actually true.
That's awesome.
Depending on who you ask. It's like statistics. Well, which translation are you reading?
Yeah, true.
Whatever. The one that says it 365
Yeah.
times. But I think there's something to that. Men especially need to be reminded every single day, 365 times, do not be afraid.
Amen.
I think that's the original fear that we had. Like, that's what we succumb to. And not only that, I think to all the people out there that hear this conversation and they're bothered, triggered, whatever, and rightfully so in some ways, maybe.
Sure.
Feminist perspectives would be triggered by that, and whoever else would be triggered. They're thinking it's not fair, right? Like, it's not fair. Why can't we be this? We want to be matriarchs. Why don't we only need patriarchs? Well, I'll tell you what's not fair. And this is all part of what is going on in my own heart over the last month or so. You know, it's not fair. The Son of God coming down to earth and being scourged, beaten, mocked, killed, and just diving headfirst into hell. That's not fair. And we're like so quick to be like, give me that. Like, I'll take that. I receive that. That's amazing. But then when we think of what's fair and what's not, we get to reap the benefits of the second Adam. And like, that's huge. That's profound. Where the first Adam failed. But it's still gravity. It's still gravity. And you can't do anything to go against it. So I want to be on God's side, which means like, I want to say yes to my calling. I also want to say yes to Jesus.
Yeah.
Which means, am I going to fail? Yes. Is it hard to be the man of the house? Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to take responsibility.
For everything.
For everything. Like, literally.
Yeah. Not some things. Everything, dude.
Literally everything.
Yes.
Now, who wants that job? Right? Like the feminists who are like, I want to be that. Do you really want that?
No, they just want the power and the glory and the affirmation, and you know, it makes them feel good. They don't understand what it is to have everything on top of you. It's like that Atlas book, where you're holding that. Like you have to hold it all.
Yeah.
You have to get it. You got to be spinning the plates. You got to be doing all the things.
Who the hell really wants that? Like, I mean,
Dude,
I've gotten to
it's a weighty,
it's a
place to
thing.
be, dude.
And it's hard. It's really hard, and we can't do it, right? So like we're a small version of what Christ has done.
Yes.
We want to be a testimony to Jesus, meaning look at my frail, pathetic attempt at this, but I'm trying as best as I can.
Help me do it.
Help me do it, God. And when that faith and that spirit surges through me and I do it somewhat well, let that just be a testimony to the one who did it perfectly. And that's what a man's job is. And that's why a woman could never do that job, because it's impossible. Like, you can't step into that. You just can't. It's impossible. You could step into your realm, and there's a whole conversation about what a woman is and what they do.
Yes.
But you can't blur the lines there. And crazy example, gonna get pretty personal here. We got to a fight, me and my wife, last night. And I was like, man, I'm not feeling this fight. Like, it was just one of those ones where you're like, I'm right. She's definitely wrong. And you have a big problem.
Like, you could put the whole situation in front of the jury of 12 people, and 12 people will easily be like, she's totally wrong, bro. And then high five you and be like, we feel so bad for you.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of those. I'm going to be totally real. Usually I get to the point like 45 seconds in where I'm like, oh,
she's right.
The jury is definitely
not on my side.
Not on my side. They are not with me. They are not standing with me. Last night,
rightfully so. But this time,
last night I was like, man, I could win this case. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, because it didn't really resolve 100% the right way. Like, it was close. But I thought to myself, literally, I have to take this on myself. I have to absorb this.
Yes.
In my body.
Yes.
In my soul.
Yes.
And it was like, it felt like God was like, just like, and I'm like, this is painful. It's not easy. Back to the question, who the hell wants that job, to be crucified in this? But I'm like, I have to do it. And it was so funny, man, because like, we'll talk more about this. We'll talk more about this later, because it was like a really deep, impactful thing that happened last night. I kept thinking, don't yell, get mad, do something. It was like the devil was like,
your flesh. Yes. Yeah.
Retaliate. Like,
it's just so natural.
Oh my goodness.
When you push a line against the cage, what are they going to do? They're going to want to fight. They're going to want to lash out. They want to.
Yes. I had to tap into
the supernatural, man.
the supernatural, like a new nature. Do I believe it? Or
Peace that passes understanding. Yes.
Yes. I need this peace to be able to respond from a new divine nature that I never had, that I have. Am I going to be afraid, or am I going to overcome through Christ and actually bear this sin on myself? And that's exactly what happened.
Amen.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I'm so glad it happened. And I mean, it didn't really resolve 100%, like maybe 95.
Dude, 95
when my wife watches this,
great.
She's going to be like,
then you're back to 40%.
I don't know. Maybe I opened up some fresh wounds, but no. And it wasn't. And this is the truth. It was not that dramatic. It was just like an argument about things, right? And
but us as husbands and wives, we can have arguments about the littlest thing, and it could turn into a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
because you have a lot of history. I mean,
we're talking years under our belt. It could be that, like the way that I situated something on a desk.
Yep. And then you got offended. Then she got offended by the way you got offended. And it's like,
yes.
Yeah.
And it's the Garden of Eden all over again. And who's going to stand in and take the hit?
We have to take the hit.
We have to take the hit. Why though? Because we're stronger. And I mean, not technically, emotionally or mentally or spiritually, but like, if you look at the stature of a man, it's different than the stature of a woman most of the time.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And I think that's a sign. Like, you have a thicker skull because you can take more of a beating. And if someone has to take the beating, and that sounds barbaric, but like,
what's true?
The cycle doesn't end until something happens. And if what has to happen is someone takes a hit, it's got to be the one that's got the thicker skull, right? Whereas you go back to the garden and you see Adam and Eve in there, and Adam's like, no, like, you know, don't hit me. Or like, I'm afraid of that. Like, I'm afraid I'm not going to take it on myself. Even if Adam stood in the way of, and I think this is kind of where that story goes, because it points to Christ, like so many different ways. We hear about the serpent's head being crushed and the curse, and this is like the first announcement of the gospel in the beginning of Genesis. But what could have happened was that Adam could have stood in the way of the serpent and would have been like, you know what?
We're good.
Stop messing with her. I'm going to fight you. And even if I die, at least I die standing in front of her and protecting her like this.
Yeah.
She's behind me. And maybe you'll be satisfied with me. And man, like those are the things that I think about of what it means to be a man. That's the highest calling of a man, the highest, you know, just the highest of everything of what it means to be a man.
To be a real man, to be a man of value, is someone that serves and sacrifices for others. Ephesians 5:25, like I already said before. You mean husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it.
Yeah.
So we're literally supposed to die. So if we're having an argument or getting upset or we know dead to rights that she's wrong, it's like we're going to have to take the hits. We take the hits because we're literally supposed to die. Oh, they're not asked to die. They're just asked to respect, essentially.
Yeah.
Respect, submit, and all these other things. And I'm not saying it in like some egotistical, patriarchal totalitarianism. Women have to do everything I say and sit by my feet. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying God's called us to this standard that we have to try our best, falling forward with his strength to endure and to do. You know what I mean? That's the standard. We have to stand in the gap for all of the craziness that they have to deal with, all the craziness that comes in our lives and in our home and to our kids. We have to be the filter. Everything has to go through us.
Yes.
The pain, the hurt, the anger, the frustration, the shame, it has to go. We have to take it on. So then they don't have to. We have to.
We have to so that they don't have to.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a big one.
And we have to because they don't have to, because that's what God called us to do. I mean, it's written in his scripture about headship. It's written in his scripture about dominion and taking over and leading. Why else is he putting those in his word rather than putting the female there? He chose them specific for specific things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So-
God is the creator. And
Yeah.
there are so many different analogies and even biblical analogies that describe God. It is undeniable fact. God as creator makes things to his own liking, and he's good, and he does all things well.
Yeah.
But you can't look back at him and say, why did you make me like this? Well, you can't pull a Job on him even when you feel you're most justified to say, well, how come this, and this happened to me? The answer is always going to be, where were you when and then, you know, the rest of the story. So
That's so hard.
it's hard. It's hard. And it's hard to convince someone of that too. Like if I were to sit down with someone who just doesn't see things this way, like another guy, and be like, well, okay, let me tell you what. The reason why you want to be a good man is because you get to take all of the hell upon yourself and you get to stand in the gap and take the beatings. Right? Like, you gonna join me? And our culture doesn't like that for two reasons. I think on the surface, it's because we don't live in a society where men take pride in like laying their life down. And it doesn't even have to be in a religious or a Christian context at all.
Yeah.
Like there were different cultures where men would just like, that was a high honor to lay your life down for your country, for your family, for anyone. We just don't value that anymore as a society. We value self-seeking and whatever else, many, many other things. But the second layer to that is spiritual. It's because the kingdom of God does go countercultural and counter kingdom to the kingdom of this world.
Yes.
So it isn't an obvious thing. It's not the thing that you just wake up and you're like, oh, I never thought of.
Well, it's also counter to anybody's normal response. Like,
Yeah.
who wants to sacrifice all their needs for other people? Like, that's not a normal thing.
It's not.
But it's also a thing that we all can attest to when we give. When you give a gift or you give something to somebody, how good do you feel? You feel great.
Yeah.
It feels great. I mean, it fulfills you. It's the same thing with sacrificing or serving. I mean, it's hard in the moment to sacrifice or serve other people, but it's extremely rewarding. I mean, there's that whole other side of the coin that we will be rewarded. And even now you'll be rewarded. You know, taking the hits in that story that you told us about, you know, the fight with your wife. It's like you felt a peace in something that you got from God that you didn't feel before. You were given something that you didn't have if you did the other thing where you fought back.
Yes.
You strengthened this faith muscle that you poured into God and he poured into you. You were given this new ability, you know, to handle, maybe not new, but just in the moment, you had the ability to handle things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is a lot that us men will get from sacrificing and serving. Don't get me wrong. I mean, women sacrifice and serve. My wife has the hardest job. She homeschools. Your wife.
Yes.
She homeschools. She's around with kids all day. She's in the trenches. You know what I mean?
I will
She's
say,
in the thick of it.
on the record, and you probably would agree too, that's the hardest job. Like, you know, if you were to look at even starting 3 businesses at once,
Yeah.
or I chose 1 to start, but if I did do 3 like you, raising those souls, those eternal souls,
Oh my goodness.
the right way,
Yes.
and dealing with, because, you know, the mother, the wife, the woman also is taking upon the sins of her children on herself as well, right? Because when she's not, you know, when your 6-year-old throws a grilled cheese at your face and says, I hate you. I'm not saying your kids do that.
No, but you have to.
My kids definitely don't do it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, my kids do some
Right?
crazy stuff.
Stuff like that. Like the stuff that kids do,
She has to take it.
you got to take it. And that's on a very similar thread, but it's a very unique calling for the women as well. And I think the reward for that suffering may be even greater than the reward for our suffering. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's her lot. This is the man's lot.
Yes.
They're just different lots and they're different things. And when they're working together in harmony is when you see the great blessing of God. And you know, I think there are certain people in my life that have told me something along the lines of like, hey, if you could think about the gospel and the cross of Jesus Christ every day of your life and meditate on that for even 30 seconds, that will like bless you beyond anything else. And I'm like, man, that's good advice, because I think about suffering even as a man. Like when you wake up, or if you're going through a hard time in your day, whatever it is, you remember like Jesus was on the cross for, you know, X amount of seconds or minutes, however you want to break that down. For that time, it was agony. Like there's no way for even us to understand what that agony was.
Yeah, I can't fathom.
No
it.
way.
Yeah.
But what was like, how long will the glory be that preceded, like that came after that agony? And it's eternal, you know what I mean? So it almost kind of negates all of that. And that's what I've also been trying to tap into lately is like, yes, seasons may be uncomfortable, trials may be tough, but on the other end of that is resurrection and its glory. And that's what lasts forever.
Amen.
And that's what kills the fear.
Yes.
That perfect love.
It's perspective.
It's perspective, right?
It's so important to have a perspective like that, because when you're in the trenches and you don't have that perspective, you just feel like you're getting beaten down, that everything's against you, your wife's against you, the kids are against you, your work is against you, the world is against you. But when you change your perspective, it's like, it doesn't even matter.
Everything changes.
When you change your shift to Christ and the cross. Right now, there's a statistic is this generation is going to grow up with the least amount of fathers, which is insane. We live in a fatherless epidemic.
Yes.
We have a 50% divorce rate in our country, in the church and in just in the world. So we know that men are not showing up, because guess whose fault it is?
Yeah.
It's ours.
Yeah.
It's ours. Where does the buck stop? Us. Where you said it best in your fight with your wife. It's like, I have to take the hits. So imagine if you didn't take the hits, you lashed out in anger, and you only was aggressive. You know, you met fire with fire. What's going to continue on in your relationship? You're going to keep fighting. Or you're going to build resentment. You're going to build anger. Now you're going to build hate. And now this little tiny thing blew up, and now you're in a divorce. Now you're fighting for custody. Now you can't see your kids. Now you have to pay her while she's not even living with you. It becomes a mess.
It's a mess.
All because
you
didn't want to just take the hits. And that's what I mean about men failing. We don't want to be in the position. You know what we want to do?
Yeah.
We just want to kick the can. We want to brush it under the rug and be like, let bygones be bygones. Like it's no big deal. Like just let it go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I
You were going
do.
to say something. Go ahead.
No, I'm thinking about it because the first thing that came into my head was my pride. Like,
Dude.
you know,
Yeah.
and I think, is that a pride issue? Like
is.
kicking the can down the road, you think?
Yeah.
Totally is, right?
Yeah, it's pride because you don't want to deal with it. I'm fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I got it. I got it.
And it never resolves itself.
No.
And I think we know that. Like, I think we
Oh,
know
my
it's not
word.
just going to magically resolve.
Yes.
Or maybe it looks like it does. And I think that's a big issue in a lot of marriages when the husband
Just keeps
father,
kicking the
kicks the can down the road over and over. You might wake up the next day, hey honey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you? Like, but nothing's being fixed, nothing's being resolved. And actually underneath the surface, everything's compounding.
Yes.
And that's the problem.
Yes.
And the can is just being
what do
kicked down the road.
females usually do? They don't go all the time share their feelings. They shut down, right?
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, oh, what's going on? Did I do something? Like what happened? And it's like in reality, you probably did, bro, or maybe you didn't. But I'm saying in the context of kicking the can, and you don't address it, and then all of a sudden it's like she's ready to leave you. You're like, what just happened? I thought everything was fine. I was kicking the can. It was going to be fine. It's going to be no big deal. And then you throw in the other element of your kids. What if you kick the can with your kids? Pouring into them, loving them, being with them, spending time with them. I just listened to a little bit of a podcast. You ever heard of Iced Coffee Hour with Graham, that dude?
I have not.
They interviewed this OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
And she's the top earner. She's a little kid. She's a little kid, dude. Mm-hmm. She's like 19 years old. $100 million. And her $100 million she made in a year. Her dad failed her. Mm-hmm. So she talked about how her parents never had any money. I'm not saying that you're completely failing your kids because you don't have money.
Correct.
I'm saying that was one aspect. And then another aspect is her sister was doing it. Her cousin was doing it. So she felt a sense of like wholeness, and she felt gratified with all the people and what they were saying about her because she felt terrible about herself.
That's deep.
She thought that she was ugly. She thought that she was gross. She thought that she didn't look good. And she was getting all of this affirmation from all of these men she never met, ever.
Well, what does that tell you?
That means she's not getting it from her dad.
She's not getting it from her dad. And not only that, would she take $100 million in a briefcase, or would she take her dad's love?
Dad's love.
Dad's love.
Hands down. Yep. It doesn't even matter about the money. That was just one thing. You want to lead them away from that. You want to train them and teach them and nurture them about the things of the Lord and about the evil of the world. And you got to be there standing in the gap, like to love them, to serve them, to teach them.
Standing in the gap.
She didn't have a father that loved her the way that she needed. And it convicted me. I have 3 girls, and one of my girls is extremely strong-willed. So she's hard. She's hard to really pour on the love. But I force it on her in a nice dad way. Wrestle her up a little bit, hug her, kiss her, tell her she's beautiful. But she's hard. She's rough. She's a rebel with 0 cause. Like she just wants to push, and I just pray that her will would be used for the Lord. Her strong will be, one day she'll say no to the drinking, no to smoking, no to premarital sex, no to all these things that we're trying to teach and instill in her, and maybe help others along the way. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. That's my prayer. But that's alarming, right? $100 million she made in a year because
it's incredibly alarming.
All because her father did not affirm her, did not give her what she needed, and she went somewhere else.
Yeah, and just to address this to skeptics is because there's always something in the back of our head when we hear some of this stuff, especially as fathers, as dads. And being a parent myself, obviously, you think, well, how old is she?
When she started?
Yeah.
She was a kid, like 19.
The argument that people will try to make is, well, no matter how old she is, she made her own decisions. That's on her. That's not on her dad, right? And I think but to address that skeptic, I think there's a big, like, you need to shut down that argument really, really fast, because although she is her own person,
yes,
most of that person's life was shaped outside of her control.
Yes.
And that's the thing that people want to avoid talking about. When she was 1, 6, 9, 13, 12.
All those crucial ages,
crucial ages. you really don't have that much control. And that's not a reason even to blame God, but it's like, you don't have the ability to get what you can't get from your dad. So no matter what decision she made when she was older, I think you're 100% right to still say, categorically speaking, that was the father not standing in the gap was the reason why that whole entire thing happened. No questions asked.
Yeah, for sure. Let me answer
No
the
questions
skeptic
asked.
that would say that. Sure, it's all of her fault, right? She made the decision. She made the decision to post on OnlyFans and do all of these things. But she also didn't choose her dad. She wasn't chosen to be born. She came here and she needed to be nurtured and loved and taught what was the right thing to do. Even if you did teach it, right? And you did all the right things. You taught her about the Lord. She confessed with her mouth and in her heart she believed. She got baptized. She pursued the Lord. But she even still did that. There's still something that you could have done. I take that stance. I don't know if every man takes that. Maybe that's too much, too far.
Well, it's
Like,
radical responsibility.
I think there's always something I could have done.
Yes.
Like, even though she made the decision and, like all those steps I said, what if this woman was that? She was a believer. She went to church. She did all this stuff, but then still decided, what could I have done? Could I have loved her more? Could I have? I feel like I could have. I know I could have.
Yeah, and that's so important.
So take hold of that. That dad right now should be pursuing her like she's a woman you want to date. Love her, serve her, pursue her, go to her house, leave her flowers, pursue her just like Christ would pursue you. And that's what a dad needs to do.
Amen. That's radical.
That's what he needs to do.
That's radical responsibility. Because so what about the dad that says, well, I did everything right? Right? Because I don't know this girl. I don't know.
We always say we do it right. That's pride. You know what I mean? That's pride.
That's our default.
Yeah,
right.
Of course we did it. Of course we did. We did everything.
Else.
Yeah, That's a famous baby boomer dad response.
Yeah,
I couldn't have done any. Like I tried.
Right. That's the way you hear it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dad, your father did the best that he can, or I did the best. Whatever.
Yeah.
Which
could be true.
Yes.
But we also need to take that responsibility.
Where are you now?
I know I could have done. Where are you now?
That's
and also,
could
I have done more? Don't wallow in it. Don't live there, but just accept it. Yeah, accept you could have done more. Now do more now.
That's what
do more now.
It's the story's not over. Like that 19-year-old girl, her story's not over.
Exactly.
Meaning also, her dad, if he's still alive, I'm assuming he is. If you're not dead.
I hope so.
It's the story's not over if you're not dead.
Yeah. Pursue her.
What are you doing right now? I think if we can get men to stand in the gap, as what you just said it that way, I think that's brilliant. That's what changes the world. That's what changes society. That's when you see gigantic shifts happening.
Oh my goodness.
All over.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's a trickle down.
Yeah.
If you do it in your home will affect your family, your extended family. Your extended family will now affect other people. It's the multiplication. Mm-hmm. What is that? Compounding interest. Totally it will grow and grow and grow. If you start in your home, you can totally change a community, a city, a state, and even our country. It's very possible. Us men just need to stand up and start it. We need to do it in our homes first. And that's the point of Standing Dads, right? Tying into Standing Dads, and what we're wanting to do is help men and give them the ability to stand for their family, their fatherhood, and their faith. That's what Standing Dad's for. It's specific for men that are battling, divorce, separation, fighting for custody, and also for men that are just realizing that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not showing up for their family. They're not showing up for their wife. They're doing with that example we were talking about, kicking the can. Just, it's fine. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. And then they finally realize, dude, it is a big deal. I need to do something about it. So that's the point, to help, counsel, to give back, to give to them tools, tactics, challenge, encourage, strengthen them, build them up to the ability where they can go back and serve their wife and their child. If they lost them, go pursue them in a loving way. If they're in the courts, well, then let's make a plan. Let's develop a plan to get them back. But first it starts with the individual.
It's that radical responsibility.
There it is. A lot of men that have, their family taken, or, terrible things happen to them, like their wife leaves them or their kids leave them, or they lose their job or whatever, they want to put the blame on others.
Yes.
It's their fault. It's their fault.
And that never resolves things. But
it makes it worse. You put yourself in a trap.
Yes.
You're now in a victim mentality. You are now trapped to your inner psyche of, oh, woe's me, they did that to me, and I tried my best, I wish I could have done better, but that's what they decided to do. What am I going to do? Make them come back? And it's like, bro, you need to stand up, get up, and go out, pursue.
So you mentioned Standing Dads. I want to hear about your involvement in that,
Yeah.
and a little bit more about what it is. But I heard a couple things. First of all, Standing Dads, I like the name because it involves an action. It's something that's so practical. You have to stand up. It's something that you have to do. And often
It's a starting point.
It's a starting point.
You can't start while you're sitting or laying down.
You can't. It's not Sitting Dads, it's Standing Dads. Okay?
That's right.
Sometimes
Ain't no sitting down.
Yeah, we're not sitting down.
Yeah, we
might be sitting right now.
Just for right now.
Just for right now.
We will
And
be
we're also
standing
dads.
later.
But we will stand up at some point. But it's a call to action, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy. And I'm sure there's some kind of community element. But I heard Standing Dads, which I love that, because standing requires doing something simple, but something that's very costly to you.
Yes.
And I heard faith, family,
Fatherhood.
and fatherhood. Are those like the 3 core principles?
For sure.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about you and your role in Standing Dads.
Well, Standing Dads started with our buddy Dustin, and he's going through a battle right now with court and divorce and, custody. And he's been struggling to find a place that could help him with this, situation that he's in, like a community, some sort of help with, like, how do I get a lawyer? What should I do with this? Now I got to provide for her. I mean, there's so many things that a dad has to do now that if that starts happening to him, you have the courts already against you. I'm not saying that you're a victim and it's all your fault, and it's just a fact.
Yes.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
You got to know the game, and that's a part of the game. They own it, and they're always going to go with the mom's side regardless if they're wrong. So that's why you need that radical ownership, that radical looking, extreme ownership. You got to extremely take ownership of everything that's happened.
You're a minority in that situation because most men aren't doing that.
No.
So you're up against that.
Yes.
As someone who wants to take that kind of.
And the only way to get out of your circumstance is to do that first. Because you're essentially just laying down. You're essentially just taking it.
Yeah.
You're laying down and taking it. The world's doing it to me. The court's doing it to me. My wife's doing it to me. You know what I mean? Take ownership of it and then stand. You need to own it first and realize I'm the problem. I need to fix it. I can't fix it without Christ. I can't fix it without realizing that I need him. I'm a sinner and I need him to save me, to give me the ability to be supernatural, to give love to people that hate me, right? That people want me to do, that people want wrong on me.
Yeah.
The court or wife or kids, they're all against you, right? And you're angry with them, but you have to love them and pray for them and forgive them. Those are supernatural things. You cannot do them in your human flesh.
No way.
No, you need the Lord to give you the ability to do that. There's statistic, like you said. You can read any statistic and draw any conclusion, but I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, if kids are raised by a single mother versus kids raised by a single father, kids raised by a single father are going to be more successful, not in jail, and probably not do drugs, probably not have sex out of wedlock, not go in prison, not commit suicide. What does that mean? Does that mean females are the problem? No, it just means men are necessary. Men are extremely necessary for kids and for families. Like you need them.
One of the reasons why I think culturally speaking, Standing Dads, as I'm learning about it, honestly, and what you guys are doing is so what we need, is because we as human beings are so divided. Like conflict, especially in the way of the world, is so prevalent, and we want to always know who we are by who we stand against. Like, who am I? Well, I'm not that, right? So we're seeing all that happen in our culture and our society now with like the man bashing, like men are the problem.
Oh my goodness,
or
yeah.
Maybe in the 60s and 70s, like the Archie Bunker kind of like women are the problem, like get back in the kitchen, bam, like whatever culture is telling you,
Yeah.
it's going to be wrong if it's pitting up something against something else, in my opinion. How do you solve that? Standing Dads. We're not saying women are the problem.
No.
We're not saying men are the problem. We're saying someone has to be the solution.
Yes. Great
How
point.
could you not want that?
Yeah. How could you not want
How
that?
could our society, even the God-hating, like whatever culture, how could you not want to hear that? And I get why you might not want to hear it, Because you
because you
still
wanna-
want to be against something.
Yes, you want to break up the nuclear home. You want communism. You want they, them, mud. Yeah.
And you're not going to be happy till you get it. And,
Right.
I understand. But we're offering you the solution to what you're saying your problem is. And not the problem of like men are bad or women are bad or whatever. It's the problem is let's come up with something that will help everyone. And it's just so ironic, the uphill battle that we face holding these views.
It really is, yeah.
So ironic.
I mean, when Dustin was going, well, he's still in it right now. He was looking for something, like some sort of resource, some sort of nonprofit, some sort of community to go to. You know, a lot of churches have like, divorce care or men's ministry. Not every church has a ministry for men that are going through this, whether they're divorced, separated, fighting for custody, or just completely failing, in their marriage, or failing in their life with their kids, or just in life. So there's not many ministries
I've never
for
heard of
that.
one
You know what I mean?
myself,
So he thought like maybe we should make one. So he got with his friend Justin, he got with me, and we're putting together a nonprofit in the process right now. We're looking to raise funds, for seed funding to build systems that keep men accountable and build systems to vet men, teach them, help them to have that radical responsibility in order to give them funding for lawyers, for potentially maybe food because they don't have any because they're only paying for their wives, maybe housing, maybe relocation, whatever the circumstances, the situation, it needs to be vetted. We just can't give every man that's going through this situation money, but we also want to provide resources. So resources, funding we're going to provide, but it all starts with the back end. Like we got to build the structure in order to vet these men, to counsel them, to train them, coach them, help them to go through this process of real radical responsibility, extreme ownership. That's the first part. The faith part comes family, fatherhood. That's going to obviously part of it, but it's the faith. So leading them to Christ, leading them to ownership so they can stand and fight.
It's the right sequence because a lot of times what you see in government aid or any kind of generic social benefit platform is, whether it's catered to women or single moms or single men, it's a temptation to throw resources at a problem. Okay, so what's the easiest resource to throw if you have it? Money. Right. So it's like, we'll give you a card preloaded with this on it, or we'll give you housing, or we'll give you this.
Just go away with your problem. Here you go.
Go with your problem.
Take this, go away with your problem.
We're going to help solve this like thing that's this close in front of your face so that you can go to sleep tonight. And tomorrow when you wake up and you have the same exact big problem, we can't help that, but we could throw more.
Yeah, we just keep giving you money
and stuff at it.
It will do nothing.
And it won't do anything. And it's crazy though, because at the end of the day, the real work is not the giving of the resources. The real work is what the spiritual side of it.
Yes.
Like what eternal gift you're giving to men is the ability to stand up. Because if you gave them the resources before they could stand up,
you'll squander it.
You'll squander it, right? Because what are you going to do? Like if what I need to do is over there and I'm sitting down and you give me the resources, like what can I do with that? Like I have to be standing first. And I love that that's your perspective, you guys, of how you're approaching this. And a lot of really solid organizations see it that way too. But that's the hard route. The easy route is
just give money.
Just give money.
Just throw money at the problem. It'll be
I'm
done.
not saying that's exactly that easy because you need money to give the money.
Yes.
But still, I mean, within our government, I mean, I don't know how they function. I mean, a lot of these organizations, like they print money, you would think, right? Like social benefits and just all of that. But I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that because you care.
No.
And that's a big key differentiator, I think, with you guys, because you really care. It is so much harder to get a man to stand up than it is to give him, a place to stay for 3 weeks. In reality, it really is.
Yeah.
Way harder.
Well, because you got to do the introspective work. You got to look inside yourself. You got to do some admission. You got to realize that you had a part to play, whether it was all their fault or all of it was your fault. You obviously have a part to play, and that is the first step. You got to realize I could have done something different, or I should do something different now. You need to change your perspective, and that sometimes maybe takes some coaching or some help. Coming alongside you. That's where the hardest thing. A lot of people struggle with introspective, thoughts, like looking inward. Why did I do this? Why did I react that way? Should I have done that? Should I do this? That's important.
Very important.
Yeah, and men specifically
Introspection.
struggle with that because we just want to be like fix, fix.
Just give us the tools.
Yeah,
give
we'll
me
fix
a
it.
wrench.
We're done.
We'll fix it.
Yeah, we don't want to deal with why did I react that way? Is it because my dad yelled? Whatever. We need to get through that stuff. Put in Christ. Take your heart of stone out. Give your heart of flesh. A new man. Now you can stand and fight.
Absolutely.
Let's stand and fight together. Yeah,
I love that. And it's hard to get the accurate introspection because I've been given a bunch of statistics too about and data points on suicide in men.
Yeah,
and how that's becoming increasingly more of a problem. And that ties into mental health, I think, as a whole. But what's going on with men and suicide, right? And it's like you look at that and
oh my word, dude.
they don't have accurate introspection.
No.
Because some of these men who are in these hard spots do the like they'll start looking in the mirror, they'll start looking at themselves. And then as soon as they start to see something, they're like, I hate myself. I'm a mess. I'm a failure. I shouldn't even be alive right now. And that's a dangerous place. And if there were more like safety nets out there to catch those men, because I think any man, anyone, categorically speaking, could fall from that point where
For sure.
like, you start to feel bad about yourself. You start to see the damage that you've caused or that you've seen, and you start to question everything. And especially if you're like 40.
It's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, like you feel like what's left?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the best days I've had and I've ruined them. Let's pull the plug on
I got
this
an
whole-
insurance policy. My kids will have money.
Yeah, it's dark, but I mean, that's what they're all thinking.
It's reality, yeah.
It's the reality of it. It's true. That's what has to be going on in those people's minds.
Most men don't even have a best friend that they could talk to. That's another statistic.
Yes.
Like not even a friend
Yeah.
that they could verbal diarrhea on. Like
Yeah.
every man needs a dude that you can vent to. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have one, get one. You need to have a man that you can
Yeah.
communicate, talk about your sins, that you can reveal things to them. You need a man to come along. You know, you need that battle buddy. You need somebody in the trenches with you.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. If you don't, you're on an island trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. And yes, of course you have Christ, but if like you don't have this rich, robust relationship that you, which is again a hard thing to do. Even Paul had guys with him all the time, and he was the man, obviously in direct line with communication. I mean, he would. So
Yeah, I like
we
that.
need each other.
Yeah, if Paul needed men,
Well, Christ needed men too. I mean, he had
12 of them. It
yeah, and
wasn't
he
just
had
one.
three.
He had
Yeah,
confidants.
he had 3 dudes that he was super close with.
Yeah.
So we
And
should
not
be
just
having some dudes to be close with too.
when you have someone that you can confess your sins to, even and it might not even be a grievous sin, it might just be like to talk.
Or to push back on your crap.
Yes.
Or to say, dude,
You
you're
can't do that to yourself.
Exactly.
Always that effectively.
exactly, dude, you are really missing the mark right now. Like you are so off. You need to stop.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have a guy that's going to do that to you, get one.
You need one right away.
You need one.
It's like
Yeah.
life or death sometimes.
Yes.
And the Bible says we'll be healed from that.
Yep.
And I guess that's in the context of confessing sins, right? And I'm not going to undermine that, but it applies to other things too.
For sure.
Going through a hard time, you're getting healed from that.
Yeah.
And like there's suicide hotlines, there's all sorts of people that you could reach out to as a man,
Yes.
but it's the dark abyss.
Yep.
And that's not what, and it saves people's lives. And I would never take that away from like the suicide hotline for men or for anyone or any of these organizations,
That's just a Band-Aid.
but it's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it's not enough.
And it's not enough. And why haven't we realized this yet?
Pride.
Yeah.
We don't need it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Because it's our fault. as
Yes.
men.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I do that. Like with some things, my wife is like, "Aren't you concerned about that? Like, what about?" Like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Like if one of the kids fall or smash, or there's like a tick in their leg and we pull it out, it's like it's fine. It's no big deal. Come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's our natural reaction to a lot of things as men. Like it'll be fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Keep the peace. Relax.
So
You know what I mean?
It's so true.
But there's a time and a place that you actually need to be fighting, or you need to be like aggressive.
Well, to that point, that's a part of a man's responsibility.
That's
to
right.
know when to take his sword out.
That's
To
right.
know when the gun comes out.
That's right.
And yeah, you can't be too trigger happy.
Nope.
So you don't want to be the dad that's like, oh my gosh, Timmy got bit. Oh my gosh, you fell. And like scare them. And there's something good with that. But at the same time, you need to know when it is the time, because I fall into more of that laid back. I used to have a really bad temper as a kid, and my parents tell me stories. I remember a bunch of holes in my parents' house a lot. Punching through their
Punched
car.
a lot of things through their car.
Sorry,
Window?
I said that wrong.
Whoa, Superman!
I was 12, as you could tell by my physique. My physique would make you think that I could punch through anything.
Well, I didn't know what your physique was then. Maybe you were training.
I was 12, so it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been that great. I didn't have underarm hair. No, I like would dent things and punch. I just had a horrible temper. As I got older, though, I've controlled that, and by God's grace, like that's not a part of my life anymore.
Amen.
But I do have another problem, being way too laid back. Like knowing when to stand up, which is like taking your sword out. Like, when are we going to fight?
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. You know, and I just want to keep saying, like, let's push that. Let's kick that can as far as we can down the road. Perfect example was last night. Now it's time to fight.
Yes.
With my wife. And ironically, which is why I love where I'm at in my faith of like just having my mind blown by Jesus all the time, is there's a time to fight, and it doesn't look like fighting.
No.
It looks like surrendering.
Yes.
That's the ultimate fight. And I can tell you, maybe I'm embarrassed to even say it, like I didn't get that until this point in my life. That's the ultimate fight. It's not about being right. And we all know that, right? Because you're conscious.
But you are not surrendering. You are fighting yourself. You're beating yourself.
Yes.
There's the
help me
inside.
Communicate that paradox.
Well, because who's the person inside you that's always telling you there's an internal enemy, right? Your flesh. What does Paul say? He's trying to pull you down. The old man is trying to pull me down. And he also says we war against our members. We literally war against ourself, our inside, our internal, ourself. It's our enemy. My biggest enemy is me. When I wrestle, I'm wrestling me. My doubts, my fears, my anger, my anxieties. It's me. Who did you beat when you surrendered? You beat yourself. The self that wanted to take over to do the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not joking. I literally have chills and fighting back to you.
Yes. You're beating yourself, brother. The one that's inside that's always trying to win. Correct. That's warring against you, that wants to come out, take over, be aggressive, take over, do the wrong thing. But in reality, you are fighting the internal battle that we need to wage against that internal enemy. Yeah.
You're fighting against yourself. So, man, oh my goodness. This is so important. This is huge for life.
It is.
And this is like, talk about business, finances, careers, being an entrepreneur, KPIs. Also,
well, it's not only in your marriage; it's in your
everything.
Doubts. It's in your. Am I going to be a good business owner? Am I going to be a good father? Did I do the right thing? It's
fighting yourself.
Dude,
in all those conversations.
Every one of those. Exactly.
Every one of those, you're fighting yourself. A new business venture. I'm in the midst of the whole transition into Trust Point Media and all these things, which are tough, but I'm fighting myself. Like I'm fighting me against me.
Yep.
And it's not only do you have the balls to do it, Charlie, it's like, do you have the ability to fight against your doubts and fears? Because again, it goes back to that 365 times in the Bible.
Do not be afraid.
Do not be afraid. And imagine this. Imagine you go back to the Garden of Eden and you see Adam. I mean, I'm guessing on all this. This is creative liberty here. Adam, Eve, Satan, and a tree standing in front of in the scene, right? It's like a movie set, right? The three characters really happened. What if Adam didn't have to even fight the serpent? What happens if the serpent, which was a dragon, right? Not a little pesky.
Yeah, a little snake that you can just
like, hiya. It was a monstrous fire-breathing dragon. What happens if the fight wasn't, you got to kill the serpent to protect and save Eve? What happens if the fight was Adam had to fight himself?
He did. It definitely was.
That's what the fight was.
Yeah.
Now that takes this whole theological thing into a whole nother realm, because now in some way the dragon enters into Satan and he's his own adversary. And I'm not talking pre-fall, post-fall. I'm not getting that theological. I'm just trying to make the point. Like, if all of human history changed in that moment in the garden and Adam didn't realize that he was, in a sense, fighting against himself, not so much the dragon, Like his own self was a more formidable foe than the dragon. Like this is something that men, like standing dads, is communicating something that far transcends importance of like almost everything else for men. That may be the most important thing, because right, like
To stand, is the most important thing.
it's the most important thing. Like Adam didn't stand. Now, how did that happen before he fell? I mean,
Before there was any sin.
before there was any sin, and we don't have to go into that necessarily because I have my own thoughts and stuff, but I think that's not the important part. I think the important part was that you only have this much of the Bible that was like there, and the rest of it is like after. So that was a monumental historic point, a failure that shaped the rest of reality. And then you have obviously Christ coming in, stepping into that role and standing.
Yes.
So he's our model, obviously. But I think there is so much to think through and unpack every second of our lives as a man. Where are we standing and where are we not standing? Now, I don't want to put too many words into your mouth, but I want to hear more about like so Standing Dads exists. You're building a nonprofit around that.
Yep.
You got 3 dudes. In a nutshell, what is your mission if you were to communicate that to someone who has no idea about what Standing Dads is? You did a very good job of that, but like, how would you summarize it into like one statement?
It's helping men stand and fight for their marriage, family, and fatherhood. That's essentially it. Helping them stand for that. And what it looks like is we're focused on men that are struggling with custody, divorce, separation, men that are lost, men that are depressed, men that need somebody.
Yes.
So we're building a community all on the back end. We're building so many things on purpose for men, because we're men. We need it. They need it. All of us men need it. We need accountability. We need structure. We need to be challenged. We need to be strengthened. We need to be encouraged. I could just go into deep on all of these things that we're going to offer, but
I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It pours into. It fills my cup because I'm a coach. I love coaching. That's how I met my wife, coaching. Coached the little brothers of wrestling. So it's like coaching is just such a...
It's cool.
Yeah, I love pouring into other people, because what happens, I get poured into too. It's the best. Not saying I have it all figured out. I know. It's actually the opposite. It's more like, don't be like me.
Yeah, I get it. And I get it on many different levels. And it's more about alignment than it is about having it all figured out.
Right.
Because I mean, what does it even mean to have it all figured out? I don't know. But when someone's
We never will. Yeah.
Never will. But you got to be in your lane and get aligned. And your gifting and your skills are really aligned to be able to serve with Standing Dads.
Yeah.
So how are you finding these guys, for example? Are you planning to position yourself as a parachurch ministry, or like, are you going to be partnering with the local church primarily? Is this going to be a public service thing that you use digital means to find people to help? How does that look?
It's going to be in the greater Greenville area as like nonprofit. It's going to be a brick and mortar place where people can go eventually. But
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Brick and mortar.
Yes, it will eventually be a place where people can go and have communion, have community, to do manly things, to do hard stuff, to get them back off of the couch, laying down, sitting dad, to standing dad. That's the goal. That's in the future. But right now we're looking for funds from essentially anybody. We haven't partnered with a church. That would be probably a good idea. But we have a sphere of influence of men that are believers, that are business owners, that are excited about it. So we're going to pour into them, and hopefully they'll pour into us monetarily to help this thing grow, to kickstart it.
Cool.
So we can get in front of as many men as possible. We're going to be having a golf tournament to do the same thing in this local area in October, to get in front of as many men, to promote it, to market it. We're going to hire you to market it. We're going to do more podcasts with you to market it. We're going to do all the things that we need to do to get in front of as many men as possible.
There is a lot that goes into what you guys are doing.
Yes.
There's a community aspect, which means we're doing stuff together as men. So that's real face-to-face community.
Yep.
There's education, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Because we need that. And that education is like kind of a spiritual education.
Yes.
That'll help you to stand up.
Yes.
And there's actual practical things that you mentioned before, like legal help.
Yep.
And any other kind of help and I'm going out and living.
Potential monetary help for groceries, for housing, for legal fees, for all the things. That's our goal, is to help.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to give those resources to people.
Yes.
And lawyers cost a lot of money. And
Yes.
just using that as an example, vehicles cost a lot of money. Whatever standing dads need to be supported
Yeah.
at that present moment. The resources are going to be discipleship, training, life skills. They're going to be able to do life in person with other men.
Yes.
Those are all awesome.
We're in the process of building relationships with multiple men's ministries in this community that have that give people halfway housing, like say they're addicted to drugs or they're out of jail, they're just getting out and they need a place to stay, they need a job. So there's multiple ministries that we will partner with, that we're in talks right now, that will eventually be a resource that we could easily refer them to them.
I love that.
You know what I mean, right away, so we don't need to pour into them, but the goal is to help men where they are. That's help them stand, you know?
Help them stand where they are.
Yeah.
And that's not where they will be.
Nope.
But that's where they are. And that's how it all starts. I love it. I think that as I get to learn more about what you guys are doing, I'm sure my mind's just going to keep getting blown, because it's so needed. And you embody, and Dustin and Justin, like all you guys are embodying the standing dad, because you're standing in the gap for all of us men and all of us fathers. Because I asked you before, I'm like, man, with all the suicide and all this stuff is like so common knowledge almost now. Like, what are we doing about it? How are we helping each other? And we're not, because we're not standing up for ourselves.
Yes.
We're not fighting the battle.
Yes.
Someone has to do it.
Yes.
It's the same exact thing that you guys are offering, which is why I love it. And which is why I personally think it will be a movement that will continue to grow in whatever way that it grows. And I'm excited to see that unfold personally.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, we're excited.
It's awesome. I want to hear though, like what, it could be one thing or three, whatever. If someone who's listening to this right now, what could they do that would help you guys the most in the current phase that you're in as a ministry?
Well, prayer would be huge. I mean, if anybody's listening,
Thank God you said that first. If that was number 3, we would have known a lot about you, Gabe. He is not a praying man. Okay. Well, great point.
You know, as an entrepreneur,
and
a husband and a father,
we don't mean to do that, but sometimes we don't say prayer first. But
but you're right though. It is a thing that we forget, and I feel like the more he stretches you and like makes you realize that you have nothing without him, you need to pray. And I've been in that space a lot, where it's like, dude, nothing I have is from him. My health, my wealth, my job, business, kids, anything. I have to give him the glory. And if I don't, he may not bless these things. So it's not like a quid pro quo. It's like, I give this so he can give me that.
Yeah,
it's more like,
totally
I need to give him the glory because it's what's best.
Yeah.
And I need to for me. So prayer. Yes. Please pray for us. Pray for
one particular prayer. I mean, I know we could probably gather how we would pray, but
well, I would say pray that we stay consistent. Pray that we
consistency.
Pray that we stay consistent in our vision, in our relationships, in our own testimony, our own personal testimonies, because that's important. You know what I mean?
What made you think of that word consistency? Because that's a powerful word.
Because everything hinges on it. Literally everything. My marriage, my relationship with my kids, my business, standing dads, my relationship with Christ is consistent.
Consistency.
Yeah, we need to. If we're not consistent, what are we doing? We're either in the middle, or maybe we're just playing around with it. Like we need to be consistent in the things that God has given us, and then He's laid on our hearts, because they're there for a reason. So we should be actively participating. Sure, maybe they don't work out or they don't do what we want them to do, but we need to be consistent.
So we're going to pray for that consistency. Other than prayer, you mentioned fundraising.
Yes.
Now, are you looking for monthly partners in particular, or like you don't know yet? What's the deal with fundraising?
Well, I mean, the fundraising is going to be starting shortly. We have our website up. I'll give it to you. You can put it in the description or whatever.
And love that.
So we're just in the beginning stages of fundraising, getting in front of people, presenting it, giving our pitch deck to people. So monthly, that would be great for sure. It'll give us the ability to completely focus on it. You know what I mean? Focus on this nonprofit, and funding to have all the resources to give to the men that will eventually come, for sure. Because the more and more we communicate it and talk about it, and the more and more we present it to the people around, people are going to be coming. And there's already men coming and asking Dustin with his TikTok channel, like, I need help, you know. Like
Yeah.
he's talked to people that have thought about committed suicide. He's talked about people that are depressed, talked to people that are on the verge of losing their wife and their kids. So these men need resources.
Yeah.
And we can't be available unless we have funds to build the back end, to build the resources, to build the vetting, to build the counseling, to build the coaching. So, I mean, that's what we're really asking for.
There is so much that goes on. And once you see that as a person who could give potentially, and I've talked to people that are like, I would, but what does my $25 a month mean? And I'm like, well, it means everything. Because if you look at Compassion, or if you look at any big organization that's a nonprofit that does a lot of good, because that's what you're trying to do at the end of the day, you have a mission,
Yes.
right? It's all built off of $25 a month for the most part. Yes, someone gives $1 million, or Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, that's huge.
Donors come,
of course,
do these big pushes, but the day-to-day mission driving force is like the $25, the $100 a month,
Wow.
the $5 a month.
I've never even thought of that. We were thinking about, we got to get people to fund, larger donations, not like monthly, but I mean, if we could get monthly, yeah, a lot of people monthly, that would be huge.
You mentioned praying for consistency for
Yes.
you guys at Standing Dads, and financial partnership, huge. Those are two big things. How else can we find you on social media? How can we get in contact with you? And is there anything else that we be doing for you at Standing Dads?
Yeah, no, those are the two best things you could do. You could find us on the website that will be in the description. You can find me at The Way Fitness Mindset Coach on Instagram, and that'll probably be in the description too. So thank you in advance for prayer.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well,
Yeah,
it was a pleasure. You're an amazing guy.
Oh, thank you too, bro.
I still kind of laugh at how this is maybe like the third or fourth time that we've sat down together.
Yeah.
But it feels like we always uncover so much, and I just feel your heart, and I know that God is just moving really powerfully in your life.
You too. I'm excited what we're going to do next.
Absolutely. There is going to be a next.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that too. But thanks for the now.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Stay tuned for what's next. There will be a next. And thank you again, Gabe. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right.